Hello everybody, Arctic here, and welcome to another one of these commentaries. But this one's going to be a little different, because this one's going to be on the subject of Anita and her Feminist Frequency video. What video, you may ask? Well, it's the All the Slender Ladies. Oh my gosh. So, cutting out some of the filler, let's begin.
At their annual BlizzCon event in 2014, the wildly successful game studio Blizzard Entertainment showed off a new game they had in the works called Overwatch.
Yes, and as we all know, I love Overwatch, and in fact, that's the gameplay going on right now. Overwatch is a fantastic game. Wonderful game. Shouldn't be much wrong with it. They did a really good job of having some diverse cast.
And from that first reveal, it was clear the appeal of Overwatch resided in its cast of characters, a diverse assortment of heroes, each with unique traits and abilities.
Yes, and that's one thing the game prides itself on, is having unique characters, unique abilities, unique everything. It is one thing that game definitely prides itself on.
The roster revealed at BlizzCon included men and women, sentient robots, and super intelligent gorillas. However, for all the apparent variety and diversity in the heroes Blizzard showed off at the game's debut, there wasn't much diversity to be seen in the body types represented by the female heroes.
Well, the thing is also that when they showed it off, it was not a complete game. They did not have a complete roster. Even upon release, they have still continued to say that they are and have added to the roster. But admittedly, yes, at launch the roster might have been a little bit light on women. Okay, a little bit.
The male characters introduced that day included the towering knight Reinhardt, the sturdy engineer Torbjorn, the agile archer Hanzo, and the hulking simian scientist Winston.
Yes, there were several others, but yes. Definitely yes, okay.
The 5 female characters introduced consisted of the slender adventurer Tracer, the slender healer Mercy, the slender support character Symmetra.
Okay, now keep this in your mind. Think about her, Symmetra. She's not white. Just remember that. Please remember that.
The slender sniper Widowmaker, and the slender but well-armored security chief Farah.
Who also is not of Caucasian origin.
Overwatch was hardly alone in having all of its female characters share a similar physique.
I would not argue that they shared a similar physique. Not all of them, but, okay. If you really want to go there, but, I think Farah, at least, kind of did step a little bit away. But okay, maybe it's just the armor. I'm not good at seeing through armor.
In Ultra Street Fighter 4, characters such as Dalsum, Hakan, E. Honda, Rufus, and Vega represent a significant range of male body types. Looking at the roster of female characters, however...
Yes, let's take a look at this roster. Because I see a thin redhead. I see a very well-toned girl in a blue suit. A very well-toned military person who I don't understand why she's showing so little, but whatever. I see Chun-Li with the, oh my gosh, thighs of steel. And I see a boxer girl who looks a little heavy, and also looks like someone I probably wouldn't want to fight. So, yeah, they're all fitting into this when, literally 3 to 4 of them look like muscular bodybuilders, but okay.
While some may be a bit taller than others or have slightly larger thighs, not one of them represents a notable departure from the slender body type that has been established as the standard of conventional female attractiveness.
See, I would argue that, but you know what? Whatever at this point, I don't see a point in trying to argue this out with you.
Similarly, when we look at the champions on offer in the hugely popular MOBA League of Legends, we see the designers employing a wonderful range of body shapes and proportions across dozens of male characters.
I absolutely hate it when people decide to try and use League of Legends as an argument. Because it's a game that's a top-down game where you don't see much of the characters apart from their cards, because they're so small and miniature on there that unless you're zooming in all the way or just looking at the cards, their looks have very little to do with the rest of the game. It's more to tell the characters apart than anything, but you're fixating on them.
From the classic muscular warrior physique of Tarek, to the hefty beer belly of Gragas, to the cartoonishly disproportionate body of Dr. Mundo. There isn't any one male body type that is presented as the standard default male body type, and the value of these characters is definitely not connected to their sexual desirability.
I don't know. I've never found the value of any character, any playable character tied to their sexuality or what they looked like. I've always found my interest in a character based off of what their stats are, what their abilities are, and how well they perform. Maybe I'm just an oddball. Maybe I'm just one of those weird people who legitimately don't give a care what my character looks like as long as it's functional.
But when we look at the female heroes, there's nothing approaching the diversity we see on the male side of the roster. There are a few noteworthy variations from the standard. Ilaoi is somewhat more muscular than many of the female characters. Jinx has smaller breasts, and there's the cute gnome-like Tristana.
Yes, because we only want to name 3, let's go ahead and leave out the fact that, Annie, which is a little girl, if you're finding her attractive, then I think you would qualify as a pedophile or pedophile or however you want to word that. So I'm sorry if you consider Annie sexualized, you said need to go away. Lulu, Poppy, both of them are relatively ugly. Well, not ugly, sorry. Relatively small, cute, and tiny. So yes, it's not just them.
Female characters across the board are often limited to that same specific body type.
I should kill you.
Poison Ivy, supposed to be looking like that, has been since the comic books, not having to do with the video game. So, sorry, check 1 against you.
Doing all right there?
Not really sexualized, not really sexualized. Okay, really?
Stay away from her.
I would call it, okay, maybe her. Okay, you can't count that game, or that game, really, can we? It's kind of what they're intended for.
And this guy wants me to trust him.
And see, here's my issue. When you go through all of those, you're looking at them that way when, I'm sorry, but when you, none of them are like really super curvy and busty. Not all of them. There are some of them that are fairly generic, fairly flat, or fairly, or meh, somewhere in this middle weird ground. And yet you're trying to say that they're all overly sexualized because you're reaching. You're trying to find an argument. You can't find one because it's not really there. They aim for a healthy weight with the characters. They don't aim for a character that's overweight as a normal thing, because I'm sorry, some people may want to go, oh, well, being heavy's good, blah, 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 being heavy's fine, but it's a health risk. It's a health problem. So realistically, I don't care about bust size, but I'm not necessarily sure that in all cases, people playing and thinking that being 200 pounds overweight is perfectly fine. 20, 30 pounds, fine, gray area. I myself am about 60 pounds overweight, and I know it. I know it's bad, and I've been losing weight. When I first started this channel, when I first started posting on this channel, I was closer to 140 pounds overweight. Oh, wow, that's been a lot of work. But it's still not healthy, and you're asking for non-healthy looks, which is fine. I can see throwing that in there, but that should not be your main character. An overweight character should not be your main character in an action or something like that game, because they're going to end up winded 5 minutes in. Hard to be a survival game when running for 3 minutes puts you winded, and running for 5 minutes causes a heart attack.
It links our value as human beings within the culture to our desirability to men, and it reinforces our culturally influenced ideas about who gets to be considered desirable and who doesn't.
The problem is, when it comes to characters, it's not about what is desirable and what isn't when it comes to a game. Most of the time, people play games, people play those characters for some level of escapism. I play several games. I play so many games it's not funny. So I can tell you, because I'm a hardcore gamer, I have over 400 games on my Steam account alone. It's not about what they look like. Not for everybody. You might catch the occasional horn dog, but that's not what it's about. We play them for escapism. Because I'm sorry, there are some times where an action hero is really cool to run around as and play as, and oh my gosh, it's so cool to save the day. And sometimes I hop on something and I want to look pretty, I want to feel pretty, I want to look good. I legitimately, every character I play online, on any MMO, on any multiplayer thing, is female. You know why? Because that's what I prefer. It's not a matter of what they look like, because I really don't care. I do look at guys. In fact, I am bi. Oh, sorry, I broke that there, but I am bi. And to say that, I don't...
The fact that fat women and women with different body shapes aren't featured in these worlds reinforces the false notion that these women are less valuable and less worthy of recognition than those women whose bodies come closer to matching the cultural beauty standard.
But when it comes down to it, I don't really find anything appealing in what characters look like. So I don't get where people get this connection, because most of the time it's just the character. It's the character. That's it. It's escapism in the character. Oh my gosh, that's the thing. It has less to do than the cultural beauty standard and more to do with fitting in with what would be normal, what would be healthy. Because I'm sorry, when I walk down the street and I see a 300-pound lady sitting on the bench, it's not a matter of hotness or not. No, my first thought is, holy cow, she needs to lay off the donuts. I know that's a little harsh, and I don't verbally fat shame anyone. I don't, because I've been up to 380 pounds. I know what it's like. I know it's not healthy, and I know it takes work to lose it. I'm at 275 as of making this video. I am not quite all the way to the point I need to be, as I said earlier.
These limitations on creativity when it comes to female characters don't stop with body type. We also don't see the same range of ages commonly represented as we do with male characters.
Now, when it comes to that, I'm going to call that a weird gray area, because, yes, we do and we don't, and that's where it kind of gets funny. But at the same point in time, you're completely overlooking games like, like the Elder Scrolls series, the Fallout series, and you're also overlooking games like World of Warcraft, another Blizzard game, where you can be a rotting corpse, or a troll, or an orc, or a dwarf female, where even the humans don't fit by any sexual standard. In fact, if you want to go with the only race I think that has the capability of looking nice in that entire game, is the Blood Elves, and that's their running joke. And even then, the running joke is that the men are more fabulous and more beautiful and more into that stuff, because it's a joke. Like a lot of things Blizzard does, they like to joke on things. Now let's go ahead and cut back to Overwatch for a moment. See, I know that you think it's okay, it's awesome that they went ahead and added in some such things like, the heavy-set Eskimo and the muscular Russian. But may I point something out? Because we've gone from the whole idea of going, well, here's a nice body type, and we're applauding them for a body type, but we're also applauding them for stereotyping. And I mean strongly stereotyping. Do I really care? Not really. But at the same point in time, for a group of people who likes to argue this, let's see, Lucio, a black person who likes hip-hop music. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Zara. Let's see, she's supposed to be Russian, and she's built like a stereotypical Russian. What else do we got? McCree, cowboy, western, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, see, that's the issue. When it comes down to this stuff, when you get some of their better, more diversified characters, they're strongly stereotyped. Genji and Hanzo are literally freaking ninja samurai stuff, because obviously it's the only way they can do it, even in the future age. No, that's the only way we can portray those characters. If you're going to split hairs about one thing, I'm going to split hairs about another, and it's something I don't care about. And I'm still going to go ahead and verbally split these hairs because you're splitting hairs on something that makes no sense. So what it comes down to is this. Games are escapism. That's what they are. It's not something that we go into and I go, oh my gosh, I wish I could look like Mercy. No. Because yes, well, I do wish I could look like Mercy. I do wish I could maybe look like Tracer. I do strongly wish that. I also know it's unrealistic. And at the same point in time, I don't go into the game with that feeling. If there's a game that I want to go in there and I want to make something that looks the way I want to look and generate it the way that I want to look, and I don't have to worry about being unrealistic, I'm going to do something like Second Life, which I love and have been playing for like 8 or 9 years. Or I would go into Elder Scrolls like Skyrim or something like that and create a custom human character. Holy cow. But otherwise, anything else is escapism. That's all it is. It's you're escaping into a virtual world to break away from the real world. And as someone who has strong issues with the real world due to bullying and other stuff that I grew up with, I really, really appreciate being able to escape into that world. Being able to dive into this world, play a story that someone spent time to carve out for me with characters that someone took the time to build. And taking all of this and doing all of this and enjoying all of this. And if you can't wrap your head around that, I'm sorry. But you shouldn't be critiquing something without an ability to wrap your head around and facilitate this knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and end this here before this turns into a 20, 30, 40-minute rant. So, well, anyways, if you like this video, you can hit that like button. If you didn't like this video, I'm sorry. Maybe, you're allowed your opinion. I'm allowed my opinion. That's what makes this world such a great place. If you're new here, maybe go ahead and hit that subscribe button, so you don't miss out on some of the stuff that I do from Let's Plays, facts videos, and sometimes stuff like this. And as always, you guys have fun. I will see you later. Bye, guys.